Hey everybody, just me again, Wayne, in my quest for a new machine to power my guitar. There are 2 left to go. Now this isn't really an amp shootout. This is just my attempt to see if I can get the sounds that I really want to out of each of these 2 amplifiers. And they are these. The Blackstar ID Core 100 and the late entry in this whole situation, the Katana Artist 100. Now, the Katana was a late entry because the online music service that I have been using to get the amplifiers has a fabulous price match policy. So that is how this got into the running. Now, it's not exactly free because I'm going to have to pony up the shipping for all the amps that I've decided against. So it's going to cost me all in all the price of the amplifier that I want, plus the return shipping for all the others, which is more than a few dimes, let me tell you. But I think that's better than going to a music store and playing on amps and trying to decide which one sounds better and then getting it home and just rolling the dice to see if it sounds at all the same in your living room as it does in the store. So, these are the finalists. Let's get started, shall we? Since I have determined what the settings are that I really like on the Blackstar, we're going to set the Boss to those same settings. The gain is at 3 o'clock. The mini volume, I guess, is all the way up. Lows are all the way up, mids all the way down, and highs at about 3 o'clock. And we're going to start off using no effects, again, on either one. So let's just try the same chord progression and a tiny bit of lead work at first that we tried on the other 2 sets of amplifiers and see how these things sound together. We'll start off with the Artist.
With the understanding that no 2 amplifiers sound exactly the same, I really like the sound I'm getting out of the Blackstar, and I wish I could get that sound out of the Katana. So let's listen again to the Blackstar, and then we'll listen to a particular contour setting that I found on the Katana.
I'll have to listen back to this, but as I'm playing it, those 2 sounds are very similar, which is good news as far as the Boss Katana Artist goes, at least in terms of my deciding which of these amplifiers to keep. Okay, I'm just going to goof around a little bit here and listen back to this and see how I like these tones. quite a bit of just general goofing around to see if I liked the tones in general that I could get out of both these amplifiers. And the answer is, I do. Now it's time, though, to get into the big wrinkle in the situation, which is the software. For the Blackstar Architect software gives you a lot of options that are not evident just from looking at the control panel. It was the Blackstar Insider software until very recently, just a few days ago actually, I think, as I make this video, but now it's the Blackstar Architect. For the Boss, it is the Boss Tone Studio, which does the same thing. It gives you lots of additional options and ways to tweak the sound and stuff like that. Plus, for each of them, you can download patches that other users have created that they allege sound like some guitar tone or the other. So we'll get into the sounds we can make with the software, with each of those. And the real test, though, will be if I can make each of these amps sound like the two guitar tones that really blow my mind. Now, there aren't many guitar tones that just make me go, wow, son of a bitch. There's lots of good guitar tones, but very few that just really hit me like that. But two of them are Tony Iommi's guitar tone, especially on Mob Rules, and then on the Heaven and Hell stuff, and mid to late period Judas Priest, especially as on the Ram It Down album, Come and Get It, and Heavy Metal. The guitar tones just, I think, are absolutely astounding. If I can replicate them both on one guitar amp, but not the other of these two amps, well, then the decision will largely have made itself. If, though, I can replicate the tones on both amplifiers, then we'll have to figure out what other parameters to use to decide which of these amps to go with. So, let's just start with some tones that I threw together in the respective software studios that I just like. And then we'll move on to seeing if we can capture the specific Tony Iommi and mid to late Judas Priest guitar tones. The second tone is my attempt to get a Mob Rules kind of a vibe. And this third one is my effort to duplicate as closely as I can the tone from Come and Get It off Ram It Down by Judas Priest.
None of those sounded completely genuine. None of them sounded exactly quite like what you would hear on the respective albums. I have to say, though, that contrary to my expectations, I thought that the Katana artist sounded a little more genuine on both of the things, both the attempt to emulate Tony Iommi's tone and the Judas Priest thing. And here's the reason why. Here is a shot of the main workspace of the Blackstar Architect. You can see at the top that you've got your choice of voice, gain, volume, equalization, the ISF. And then below that, other than the tuner, you have the representations of 3 stomp boxes, and each drop-down menu there gives you quite a number of options, more options than are obvious by just looking at the amp. So you can get more tones using this software than you can just with the amplifier. Now here is a screenshot of the main workspace of the Boss Tone Studio. Across, not quite the top, you can see the representations of all the various knobs that you find on the Katana Artist, including the contour knob far to the right. And at the bottom, you have a line of different stomp box emulations and so forth. Within each one, you have 3 general categories and a drop-down menu within each of those 3 that provides a wealth of different variations on that effect. Now, already we're seeing that we have more choices here than in the Blackstar Architect software. But what really makes the difference is take a look between the amplifier knobs, or quote knobs unquote, and the stomp boxes, and look at that line of stuff. Effects, the chain, meaning the order in which you want everything to happen, boosters, mod, FX, delay, and what's really cool is keep heading over to the right and you see EQ and EQ2, parametric equalizers. These things make a ton of difference in your sound. A ton. Did I state that enough? A ton of difference in your sound. So through the Boss Tone Studio, you have access to a lot more sounds than you do through the Blackstar Architect.
One more quick little thing about using each of these amplifiers before we go on to tell you which one I'm going to go with. Now, you connect each amplifier to your computer with a USB cord, but neither one uses a standard modern USB cord that has 2 ends just like everybody else in the world uses. Oh no. Here is the USB input for the Blackstar. So as you can see, it uses one of those small yet barn-shaped USB cables that was common a decade or so ago. Now here is the USB input for the Katana Artist, which uses one of those big barn-shaped USB ports that was common more than a decade ago. So, regardless of which amplifier you would like to get, if you decide you'd like to get one of these, be prepared to go hunting for an archaic USB cord so you can hook them up. All right, I have done about all the testing I can do, and the return window is rapidly closing for the amplifier that I decide to send back. So it's time to make a decision. And let me say straight out, I think these are both great amplifiers. If you're in the market for an amplifier and you are considering either one of these, I don't think you can go wrong no matter which way you go. I think they both sound great. I love both of these amps. I really do. Now, all that having been said, the Blackstar sounds fantastic. Right out of the box, it sounds like a monster, which is why there's a Godzilla face on it at the beginning of the video. However, with enough fiddling around, even without the software, the Katana Artist sounds just within a hair's breadth of sounding as good, as rich as the sound we get from the Blackstar. So, what's it going to be? Blackstar, I dig you. I really do. And I really wanted you to win. However, Katana Artist, you don't seem so monstrous at first, but with a little tweaking, just using the knobs on you, you can sound just about as ferocious as the Blackstar. And then, when we use the Tone Studio, oh my God, I can scarcely imagine the myriad possibilities that await. So I'm going to have to go with the Katana Artist for versatility and just generally damn good sound. All right. Oh, and it has the opposable thumb of the Tone Studio. That's why there's a King Kong face on it at the beginning of the video. And really, if you were going to share your living space with an enormous lizard or an enormous primate, which would you rather have? Probably the primate. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.